Greetings, my name is Brenda. Not so long ago, I was just a regular person, navigating through the everyday sameness, looking for something more fulfilling. There was this dream I harbored within, a dream of opening my bakery. This wasn't just any wish. It was a dream that filled my thoughts, giving my life a direction and a purpose I hadn't felt before. So, one day, I mustered up the courage to discuss it with my husband, Brian. Brian, I began, I've been thinking about starting a bakery. A bakery? Are you serious? You don't have the experience or the skills for that. It's just a fantasy, he replied, skepticism clear in his tone. But my passion was undeniable. I love baking, and I want to contribute to support us, I told him. What's the point, Brenda? You're chasing after impractical dreams, he said. I knew it seemed unlikely, but my belief in myself was strong. I believe in this. I want to create something meaningful, something that spreads happiness, I responded. Brian was unconvinced. Look at the reality. We have bills and responsibilities. Your bakery won't pay the bills. It's just a waste. Yet, I stood firm in my resolve. I have to believe in myself, Brian. I don't want to live wondering what if. Fine. Do what you want. But I'm telling you, it's going to fail. I won't back this up, he dismissed. Despite Brian's lack of faith, I didn't let his words deter me. I started saving money and baking from our home, proving that my dream had a foundation. Brian, I've managed to save some money and kickstart my home-based bakery, I shared, hoping for some support. A home bakery? I told you, it's a waste of time, he retorted. I know the odds are against me, but I'm giving it everything I've got, I said, trying to stay positive. Be realistic, Brenda. You can't match up to the big names. It's just a hobby, not a legitimate business, he argued. To me, it's more than a hobby. I'm determined to make this work, I countered, my resolve unshaken. Motivated? You need to see the reality. This venture is going nowhere. It's draining your time, our time together. You're so buried in baking that you neglect everything else, he lamented. I'm sorry you feel neglected, but I'm doing my best to juggle everything. This business is very important to me, and I wish you could see that and offer your support, not criticism, I explained, hoping to bridge the gap between us and our dreams. Seeing the dedication I poured into my venture, only for it to seemingly stagnate, was incredibly disheartening. Despite the lack of visible progress, I clung to the belief in my potential and continued to work tirelessly. The encouragement came in small doses. Friends who sampled my creations had nothing but praise, describing my food as delicious. All I needed, I reasoned, was a bit of marketing to turn things around. I held on to hope, thinking that maybe, just maybe, Brian's skepticism would morph into respect once my business began to turn a profit. Then one day, my world was upended in the most unexpected way. Brian didn't return home. Concerned, I tried reaching out to him, thinking perhaps he was caught up at work. But my calls went unanswered. The following day, he finally called. Brenda, start packing your bags, he said abruptly. Confused, I replied, Packing? Are we going somewhere? Not we, just you, he stated coldly. Me? Where am I supposed to go? I asked, a sense of panic rising within me. Out of my house, he declared. I'm going to marry Helen. I want her to move in, so you need to leave before she arrives. His words hit me like a freight train. I was immobilized by shock, unable to fully grasp the gravity of what he was saying. What? Why? I began, but before I could get the words out, he hung up. Confusion and sadness enveloped me, and I collapsed, overwhelmed by the sudden turn of events. As I wallowed in my thoughts, a doorbell rang, snapping me back to reality. I rushed to the door, hoping against hope for some explanation. Opening the door, I was confronted with the sight of my younger sister, Helen, clad in white, hand in hand with Brian. The shock was palpable. Have you not left yet? Brian's words were like daggers. Why would you do this? If there were issues, we could have talked, I managed to say, my voice trembling. Why this betrayal, Brian? What was I lacking that you sought someone else? The situation was a stark deviation from the struggles I faced with my bakery, a personal betrayal that cut deeper than any business failure could. You lack everything. You're just a housewife who can't even make me happy. Look at Helen, she's stunning and perfect. She brings me joy. You're always preoccupied with household tasks or that pointless bakery, Brian coldly asserted, his words cutting deep. Busy? Who am I doing all this for? For you, for our home, right? I retorted, trying to defend my actions and the love I poured into our life together. It doesn't matter anymore. We're over, and it's time for you to leave. Either you leave by yourself, or I'll force you out, he declared, the finality in his voice leaving no room for argument. Helen's smirk only fueled my anger. What's so funny? You're my sister. How could you betray me like this? I asked, disbelief and hurt mingling in my voice. Your sister? Oh, please. I'm in a different league. My new husband is wealthy, and unlike you, I can keep him satisfied. So, you should leave. We're having our wedding party tonight, and you better be gone, Helen taunted with a sense of superiority. For the last 3 years, I had poured my heart and soul into making my marriage work and into pleasing Brian. But it was all for naught. Helen's words made me feel utterly inadequate, as if I was never enough. That house, though legally Brian's, was filled with my efforts and memories in every corner. Yet, within moments, everything I held dear crumbled before my eyes. Blaming fate, I left the place that was once my home. As I wandered, lost in my turmoil, I was suddenly yanked aside. It was a woman. What? Mary! I was taken aback, anger and surprise intermingling. Are you blind? You were walking right in the middle of the road. A car could have hit you, Mary exclaimed, concern laced with frustration in her voice. Mary, a friend from my childhood, and here we were, reconnecting under such bizarre and distressing circumstances. Her words snapped me out of my daze. I had been so consumed by my thoughts that I hadn't noticed the danger I was in. The thought of what could have happened sent shivers down my spine. Are you listening? What's wrong with you? Mary pressed on, noticing my distant gaze. Yes, I'm sorry. Thank you, Mary. I managed to muster a mix of gratitude and confusion in my voice. It's okay. Do you need help? Where are you going? I can give you a ride, she offered kindly. Where was I going? I had no close friends nearby to turn to. My parents lived far away, and I didn't want to burden them with my troubles. Brian had been my world, and now, stripped of that identity, I felt a profound sense of shame and loss. Honestly, I found myself at a loss for what to do next. Actually, I have no idea where to go. But could we maybe head to a restaurant? I just realized I'm incredibly hungry. How about you? The thought struck me suddenly, highlighting a hunger I hadn't noticed amidst the chaos. But then, the reality of my situation dawned on me. I had left everything behind, including my wallet. I'm sorry. I don't have any money right now, I confessed to Mary, feeling a mix of embarrassment and helplessness. Don't worry about it. We're friends. Let's go, Mary assured me, her kindness offering a momentary solace. We arrived at a restaurant that seemed out of place in my current life. A beautiful establishment with a grand chandelier that immediately captured my gaze. Didn't you move to New Zealand? What brings you back? I asked, surprised to find her here of all places. Yes, I was studying there. After finishing my degree, I returned here for a job opportunity, Mary explained. I couldn't help but express my concern over the expense of the lunch, especially given my financial state. Mary, you really don't have to do this. This place looks pricey. It's fine. I've got this, she reassured me, just as our meal arrived. The table was set with an appetizing array of broth, Greek salad, and a grilled portobello mushroom burger. My hunger got the better of me, and I started eating before Mary could even join in. When asked if I enjoyed the meal, I inadvertently critiqued the burger buns, suggesting they could be improved. Mary seemed surprised, noting, "Our buns and pizzas are quite popular here." Apologizing, I clarified, "The food is great, but I think there's always room for improvement. Maybe a crispier, better baked bun, and the broth could use a bit more seasoning." "You sound like a chef," she observed, a hint of admiration in her voice. I laughed it off. "Oh no, not at all. I was just a housewife, well, until recently. I bake quite a bit and even started a small baking business, but it's struggling." Mary then suggested something that hadn't crossed my mind. "With your knowledge, why not try working in restaurants? Not all places look for formal qualifications. Your experience could be more than enough." As we delved deeper into a conversation, Mary sensed my distress and offered a listening ear. Sharing my story with her felt like lifting a weight off my shoulders. Her reaction was immediate and supportive. What a terrible situation. You know, we could take legal action against him. But I was hesitant. No, I don't want anything from him. What's the point if the love is gone? He should live his life in peace. Your kindness is boundless, Brenda. He'll realize his mistake. But now, focus on yourself. You're full of potential. Why not explore job opportunities? I'll help however I can. Encouraged by Mary's faith in me, I started to see a glimmer of hope. Perhaps I could turn this new page in my life into a chapter of growth and self-reliance. Do you know of any places that might be hiring? I need to start somewhere, and I'm ready to become independent. Absolutely. I'll arrange a meeting for you with the owner, Mary assured me with a smile. Her words were a beacon of hope in my turbulent sea of uncertainties. That's incredibly kind of you. Are you part of the management team? I inquired, marveling at how swiftly she was orchestrating these opportunities for me. Yes, you could say that, Mary replied, a hint of mystery in her voice. After the meal, Mary took care of the bill, and we left the restaurant together. I was filled with a newfound sense of hope, but was also acutely aware of the immediate practicalities of my situation. So where to now? Honestly, I'm not sure where I'll go, I confessed. I'm your friend, aren't I? Why don't you stay with me until you figure things out? Mary offered generously. Are you sure? You've already been so kind, I hesitated, overwhelmed by her continuous support. No problem at all. Stay with me as long as you need. She insisted. Gratefully, I moved in with Mary. Her home was a haven, complete with a vast library brimming with business books. That night, as I lay in bed, thoughts of Brian and Helen's betrayal intertwined with the possibilities that lay ahead. Despite the pain of the past, I was ready to embark on a new journey of self-discovery and independence. The following morning, dressed in Mary's office attire, I barely recognized the person staring back at me in the mirror. The reflection showcased a confident, smart individual, a stark contrast to the apron-clad, tomato-scented version of myself I had grown accustomed to. A fleeting thought crossed my mind. Could this transformation have saved my relationship with Brian? But I was quickly snapped back to reality by Mary's voice. You look smart. Ready for the interview? She asked. Yes, hoping for the best, I replied, a mixture of excitement and nerves swirling within me. Mary drove me to the restaurant, explaining where I needed to go before heading off to her meeting. As I entered the waiting area, the magnitude of the moment hit me. It was my very first job interview. Mustering all my courage, I stepped through the door, only to find myself face to face with a familiar figure. Sorry, can I come in? I asked, momentarily taken aback. Hey, Brenda, there's no need to be formal. Come and sit, Mary gestured, her voice warm and inviting. I took a seat opposite her, realizing then that she was the owner of the restaurant, the very establishment I had unwittingly critiqued the day before. A wave of embarrassment washed over me. Sorry, Brenda, I wanted to surprise you. I didn't mention it yesterday to avoid overwhelming you, Mary explained, a gentle smile on her face. So, shall we start the interview? I asked, eager to move past my initial shock. Actually, I think we've seen enough to make a decision. But the head chef would like you to work in the kitchen today. We'll discuss the job role and other details tomorrow, Mary informed me. Thank you so much, Mary, I said, gratitude filling my heart. No need to thank me. Just do your best in the kitchen, she encouraged. Entering the kitchen, I was awestruck by the bustling environment that felt straight out of a cooking show. It was a world I had always admired from afar, and now I was about to be a part of it. Walking into the restaurant kitchen for the first time, I felt like I was stepping into a whole new world. A world I had only dreamed of being a part of. Given the task of recreating the broth we had the day before and improving the burger buns, I poured my heart into the cooking, eager to showcase my potential. To my delight, the head chef was impressed by the tweaks I made, offering high praise as my colleagues savored each bite. Amazed that I had transitioned from a housewife to this new role so seamlessly, this experience was a revelation to me, uncovering abilities I hadn't realized I possessed. There was still much for me to learn, but I was determined to make the most of this opportunity. Surprisingly, I secured the job, and the salary was beyond anything I had imagined. This job became my new world, my sanctuary, and I dedicated myself to it fully. As time went by, my hard work paid off with a promotion to head chef, and under my guidance, our flatbreads and broths drew crowds from all over, eager for a taste. Despite these successes, the dream of opening my bakery lingered untouched in the back of my mind. With newfound confidence and resources, I finally decided to share my aspirations with Mary. Mary, there's something I need to discuss with you, I began, hesitating slightly. Of course, Brenda. What's on your mind? She encouraged. I've been thinking about my lifelong dream of opening a bakery. To pursue it, though, I'd need to leave the restaurant, I admitted, nervous about her reaction. That's bittersweet news, Mary responded, with a supportive yet sad tone. But I wouldn't dream of holding you back. You have the talent to create something extraordinary on your own, and I fully support you. Grateful for her understanding and encouragement, I committed myself to ensuring a smooth transition for the restaurant before my departure. In time, I left the restaurant with Mary's blessings, using my savings to open Brenda's Bakery in the heart of the city. Assembling a talented team, we worked tirelessly to make the bakery a reflection of our passion and dedication to quality. To our amazement, the bakery not only met but surpassed our expectations. The community embraced us wholeheartedly, celebrating the exceptional quality of our bread and pastries. Buoyed by this success, we expanded into a full-fledged restaurant, quickly becoming a beloved gem of the city. Our little establishment was even featured in food magazines, a testament to our hard work and the community's support. This journey, from the depths of despair to achieving my dream, was a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the power of believing in oneself. Brenda's Bakery had transformed into a brand, a testament to my dreams coming to life. Inspired by the memorable chandelier in Mary's restaurant, I decided our new restaurant deserved an equally unique interior. Soon, I was sifting through offers from numerous top-notch design firms, eager to find the perfect fit for our space. Then, unexpectedly, a call from the past disrupted the present. Hello, I'm Brian from Blue Haven Interiors, calling about the design contract for your restaurant. May I schedule a meeting with the owner? It was Brian, my ex-husband, the one who had once turned my life upside down. Why now? Why him? A storm of emotions, anger, sadness, and surprise swirled within me. Brian, is that you? I asked, barely masking the tumult inside me. His response was hesitant. Oh, Brenda? I didn't recognize your voice. It's different now. What do you want? I pressed, not ready to tread into the past shadows. I'm sorry, Brenda. I was wrong before, unable to see your worth and potential. Please forgive me, he pleaded, his voice laden with regret. But the wounds he'd left were too deep. You shattered my trust, Brian. It's too late to apologize. Please, just leave me be. Despite my clear disinterest, he persisted, begging for a mere 10 minutes of my time. Reluctantly, I agreed to listen, remembering all too well how he had dismissed my pleas in the past. He spoke of his failures, his dismissal from his previous job, and his struggles at Blue Haven Interiors. This contract, he claimed, was his last chance to salvage his career. I'm sorry, Brian, but I cannot involve your company, I said firmly, the finality in my voice mirroring the closure I sought from our shared past. Hanging up felt like closing a chapter, a reversal of the moment he had ended our relationship with a call. When Mary visited that weekend, I found myself pouring out the entire encounter. She had become more than a friend. She was family. Mary listened intently, her reaction a mixture of shock and understanding. Brenda, he's getting a dose of his own medicine. But let's not dwell on this. Let's enjoy our day. I agreed, trying to put the incident behind me. Yet Brian's message arrived soon after, a plea for reconciliation and promises of divorce from Helen, claiming a newfound appreciation for what we had. But as I sat there, sharing gelato with Mary, I felt nothing for Brian's plight. My journey had moved me beyond his reach, into a life filled with success and genuine relationships. I've moved on, Brian. I wish you the best. I texted back, a simple yet powerful declaration of my independence. And with that, I continued to relish my gelato, savoring the sweetness of my freedom and the success that was entirely my own.